I have the great pleasure of introducing our student speakers. And I say speakers. For the first time, I believe, in the history of the College of Idaho, we have co-speakers. Now, Jim, I don't know where they got the idea of co-speakers. Today, our co-speakers are Christian Garcia from Venezuela and Omotayo Akingba from Nigeria by way of South Africa. And before they come to the stage, I want to tell a quick story. And it goes back 4 years ago. How many of you went to McCall 4 years ago? Most everybody. So this is an overnight stay for incoming freshmen where they get to bond, do a bunch of team building exercises. And as you can imagine, parents, grandparents, family members, everybody arrives like a deer in headlights, right? They are nervous, they're quiet, they're shy, except for Omo and Christian. They did not fall into that category. Our introduction to Omo came almost immediately. There's a large amphitheater in McCall where we take the students. And Jim and I were walking up to that amphitheater, and you can't see in from the outside, but we hear all this amazing cheering. And we're looking at the program, and we thought we were the first people to speak. And what is happening? What is going on? The crowd is just going nuts. And we walk through the little entryway, and who do we see on the stage? We see one person up there. We've never met this person in our lives. This person looks over, comes walking over to us. Hi, Jim. Hi, Doug. I'm Omo. Well, hi, Omo. Nice to meet you. He says, Jim says, Omo, what's going on? What are you doing? And he says, well, I'm sitting here and we're all nobody's doing anything and we're waiting. And I thought, I don't know anybody. I'm going to go entertain them. So here's this freshman from umpteen thousand miles away, doesn't know a soul. He's entertaining this crowd, but it gets better. Then he says, he looks at us and he goes, do you mind if I introduce you guys today? He's not going to quit. And of course, Jim doesn't miss a beat. You're already on stage, go for it. So that was our introduction to Omo. Now fast forward, a couple hours later in the day, all the students gather on this outdoor court, and they're going to play rock, paper, scissors. So there are, 300 freshmen that year, 150 games of rock, paper, scissors going on simultaneously, if you can imagine that. And the way it works is you play a game, you find a partner, you play rock, paper, scissors, the loser is out, the winner finds somebody else who won, and you keep playing until there's two people left. But if you lose, you're supposed to follow who beat you and crowd around and cheer and make noise and all this. And again, a lot of young freshmen, very nervous, very quiet, so there's not a lot of noise at first except this one area. And we look over and we don't know who this person is in the middle of this, but we keep seeing this young man, Christian. And he is winning, but he's also making a ton of noise, and he's getting everybody around him excited. And he makes it to the final one. And I don't know, Christian, did you win or lose? Oh, he won now, sure. I think we can verify that. But Christian won, but the point is, he was a leader already. He was bringing everybody else along, making it part for everybody. So Christian and Omo, they're born leaders. We're lucky to have them on our campus. They've been a blessing for 4 years. Welcome to the stage.
Welcome, everyone. What a beautiful day to celebrate the class of 2022, right, Omo?
Yes, a very beautiful day indeed. Before we begin, We'd like to acknowledge that we are on the traditional territory and homelands of the Shoshone-Bannock people. We pay our respects to their elders, past, present, and emergent.
Thank you, Omo. It almost feels like destiny for us to be here together, because one thing co-president Doug didn't mention is that when I won that rock, paper, scissors competition, he was the one I won against in the final.
Wild.
Remember that?
Yeah, Jim Everett never lets me forget. That day I learned our college was run by 2 presidents? I always wanted to be president, but I guess you won that too.
It is the example of those co-presidents that inspired us to be here standing together.
That's right. As you may have noticed, this is not your typical commencement speech. Instead of one speaker,
There are 2 of us.
that's because in the spirit of the co-presidents showing the ways of shared leadership, Christian and I decided to do something different this year.
Yes, after reflecting on our years at the college, Omo and I decided that perhaps the best way to speak to our class was if we did it the same way we endured all these years, in the company of some amazing people by our side.
People we did not know would change our lives back then, and people who would not make it with us until the end. People with dreams and aspirations, but also people from very different backgrounds. Individuals with many stories and perspectives that make up our vibrant family, or as the cool kids call it, the Yod fam.
Many stories interacting and shaping other stories. We are the product of infinite associations that have shaped our way of thinking and being, which makes our task today a very difficult one, because the degree we receive today means very different things to every single one of us.
Think about it. How could we know what this degree means to a first-generation student, or to those that are ready to take on the next academic challenge, going on to grad school in the fall? Wait, grad school this fall? That's the spirit, y'all.
How could we know what this degree means to those who struggle with their mental health? Or how could we talk for our peers who yearn for freedom? Or those who fell victim to forces beyond their control during their college years?
In the honorable words of Princess Bubblegum from Adventure Time, people get built different. We don't need to figure it all out, we just need to respect it.
Let's remember too that today is not only about us, but also about those who witnessed our journey and supported us throughout the way, which makes things a lot more difficult, because how could we speak to those watching us from afar, including those who may not understand a word of what I'm saying right now, including our parents who are watching us through a live stream? Hola mamá, hola papá, se logró, lo logramos juntos, los amo.
Oh, well, now I have to do it too, eh? Emino, ekaroma, ekaropa, baoni, shedadani, omoniti shedadani lewe, motikpari, oroni shomi.
Thank you, Omo, that was beautiful. Arriving in Caldwell, I noticed an intentional effort from individuals trying to build a better community despite their different lived experiences. And we found power in that.
I have seen this community at work in so many powerful ways. Personally seeing the rugby club, like so many other clubs, go from an idea to a reality through the hard work of dedicated individuals. And we see that same dedication and discipline with our student athletes, who are showing exceptional talent. Shout out to all our teams, through the dubs and L's, all working harder and harder every day. Shout out, y'all.
Yes. And speaking of hard work, I think another shout out is deserved to our student leaders. Serving as a student representative myself for 2 years, there is nothing that comforts me more than their passion and dedication, which reminds us that the future of our institution is bright.
Oh yeah, I tried being a senator. It's pretty tough work, especially when no one shows up to your constituency meetings or laughs at your jokes. That one hits me the most.
Those student leaders led and formed vibrant clubs and organizations ready and willing to challenge the system and not be satisfied with complacency. It has been an absolute honor to see you grow over the past 4 years to become citizens of a world that radically needs love, compassion, but also the willingness to act to make that vision possible. As in the words of Margaret Mead, never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has.
Exactly. You see, the success in the work of those student leaders stem from the passions that drive their work in the classrooms. The hurdles of academia have been our proving ground on which we have finally come out victorious. From all the grueling all-nighters to the rushed papers we didn't even know about, you have prevailed.
You have prevailed through the struggles of college, but also through the struggles of life. You have prevailed through a pandemic that isolated our world for over 2 years. You made it through the absurdity of online classes. You made it through the awkwardness of long silences and the anxiety of being chosen to speak because nobody else wants to say anything. You made it through the anguish of quarantine and the mental exhaustion that came with it. You have prevailed.
Wow. We must, oh, yes, thank you. We must never forget that. You know, it's funny that you were my neighbor freshman year, and I could not stand your singing in the shower. But now in our senior year that we live together, sometimes I sing along too. You know, our experience has taught us to live with the differences of others, and this college has tested that skill. We have had our trials and tribulations, but the Yod fam is held firm through the unity of our students, faculty, staff, and leaders. We're grateful to your work, from the co-presidents and senior leadership to those that maintain the facilities that we use daily. No job too small and no person unvalued. You are all what makes this place special.
Today, as you leave this ceremony, let me remind you that it doesn't matter if you will use this piece of paper we call degree to further pursue your academic journey, hang it on the wall to show your pride, or even if you decide to start a fire with it. A fire of motivation to take on the world that opens its doors today. Take the memories, knowledge, and nostalgia embedded in that degree and use it to fuel your passions and vision of the future.
Show the world what a Yod can do. And now, as we stand at the precipice of history, as I must say, the sexiest graduating class in College of Idaho history, we have one last thing to say. In one voice, one class, and one spirit.
Congratulations, class of 2022. We will prevail.